the third quarter.
And here we go in the fourth, 1st and 20 on the 24-yard line at Tennessee for the Golden Gophers. Bowman sees a little bit of daylight and bounces off a tackle by Marion Hobby and gets a couple of more yards before he goes down. But he's going to be coming up with a second and probably 15 or so.
Now, this is a guy who's been around. He started since he was a freshman. He was the MVP of the team the first 2 years, his freshman year. Thompson got it this year. He's cool under pressure, but I still would like to see him get a little bit lower. He fights for yardage. He's only 185 pounds. He's going to get himself hurt. These are big guys out there. He needs to learn when to go down.
Look at that rushing yardage. Second down, 14 after a gain of 6. Little pass over the middle, incomplete. Ron gets the fullback, and boy, they had a rush on Foggy. Tennessee was coming.
Well, there was a great example of a guy keeping his head under pressure. Here's a play where he's really cool because there's a million guys around him and a bunch of guys around the fullback too. Look at this. He takes all the hits. Little flip his head and gets, who is too a freshman just out of high school, can't hold on to the thing, trying to run before he catches it. I don't know that that thing would have gone anywhere, Merle.
Third down on the
Third
down on the 19-yard line of Tennessee. The 12th play on the drive for Minnesota from their own 20-yard line.
Tough down for this team. Tough down. In spite of their passing success, they're a running team. Tennessee will be looking for the throw.
Instead, they go to the run. Thompson inside the 10 to about the 7. Tackled by Brian Hunt, number 74.
Well, that they got some yardage on this should not be a surprise. Tennessee's got to be playing loose, looking for the pass. The call is what's in question. Are they going for the field goal, trying to set it up? A lot of running room in there. And here you're going to see it again. That's Foggy. Thompson ought to be able to run against a little bit of a loose defense. He does, but Tennessee accomplishes what they wanted to do. They hold him. There'll be a field goal attempt.
Lohmiller, 1 out of 2, missed from 42, hit one from 27. This will be a 25-yard effort to tie the game. It's 14-14 in the Liberty Bowl with 13:23 left to play, and we'll be right back. Tonight's telecast. Hayes Microcomputers. Say yes to the future with Hayes. From about 18 floors above the floor of the Liberty Bowl, Merle Harmon and Kevin Kiley with you, and we want to thank our sponsor, our spotters, Bill Spillner, who's handling Tennessee. We'll also thank our sponsors, and Mark Johnson, who's working the Minnesota board, and Marty Arnoff, who does his usual excellent job as our statistician. And gentlemen, we thank you. Man, we're up in the air watching this one.
I'd like to thank the selection committee. It's a pretty good matchup.
Yes, sir. Bud Dudley and his group putting on another tremendous show here in Memphis. Chip Lohmiller to kick it off. Downfield comes the football. Anthony gets out across the 30 to about the 33. A return of 30 yards. That's where we are, and it's a long way up here, folks.
It was as a cloud just went by.
You know, letter to mail, just hand it to the pilot, huh?
No, I can't even see the numbers. Can you, Merle? It's a good thing they got different color uniforms.
There's the Liberty Bowl trophy, and it is beautiful.
It's also up for grabs.
That's the shape of the stadium, by the way. It's a replica of the stadium. They're going to enlarge the stadium to 65,000 for next year. Francis goes over the middle. Man open. Catch made at the 46-yard line.
That was Davis, I believe. I was Kenneth Davis, Keith Davis out there, and he's wide open all the way. He slips out of the backfield, and he gets loose downfield. No, that's not Davis. That was Middlebrooks, the tight end. I'm sorry, Middlebrooks, the tight end, on a pattern, a little bit of a flag pattern, straight down the field, wide open all the way.
1st and 10 on the 46-yard line of Minnesota. Score tied at 14. Francis throwing. Francis hitting. And the receiver is Anthony Miller. And Miller can really turn it on down the sideline, but he is out of bounds. Miller has averaged 18.5 yards per catch this year, and he just picked up 24 on that one.
Well, this pattern has killed Minnesota. Not only are they not covering these guys on this little hitch pattern, they're not tackling them either. Now, Martinez got to do a better job than that. He's got to come up with a little more force. If he's going to miss the tackle, he's got to be going full speed. Because this guy, they're just turning up field all day. Clinkscale scored on that early in the game, got loose another time. They can't let that happen.
Tennessee on the move now in Gopher territory at the 23. Tennessee to the run. It's Howard. And Howard is inside the 20 to about the 18. Leverens, the linebacker, number 56, making the tackle. Tonight's official attendance, 51,327, a sellout crowd. And as I mentioned a moment ago, they're going to start construction very shortly on the stadium here to increase the capacity to 65,000. They will go up with seats across the way, the area that you're looking at now. Second down, 6. William Howard near the 15. Deuce Bobick, Mark Deuce Bobick from Faribault, Minnesota, on the tackle.
He's played a whale of a second half. Deuce Bobick didn't hear too much from him in the first half, but he's been around the ball in the second half.
Howard has carried 11 times for 54 yards. He's the leading rusher for Tennessee, 787 coming into this game. Miller. Jim Miller has not been seen much tonight. He's usually the short yardage fullback. Right now he is in there. Oh, check it. That's Howard again. Francis to throw. Lost it to the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. His second touchdown reception tonight. Reves for the extra point try now. 20-14 Tennessee. 21-14 Tennessee. A 15-yard touchdown pass to Clinkscale.
Well, this guy specializes in the over-the-shoulder catch. Francis, what a great pass here. And Martinez, no chance, and a heck of a catch by Clinkscale. That thing right in his hand over his shoulder, just the way he likes it. This is a guy who was recruited by Oklahoma and Georgia. Clinkscale decided to come to Tennessee, and he's glad he did. One of the truly great young receivers that they have. Excuse me, he's a senior, a leader on this receiving corps. Great play here. Okay, here it is. Now, this is a play that when you have an excellent quarterback and a good receiver, you can make it work. They loft the pass. Defense is not really bad. A little bit of pushing in there. He needs to turn around. He didn't turn around. When Clinkscale turned around, had he turned around, he might have got his hand on it. Instead, he's going in blind, has no chance to get the ball.
Clinkscale has caught 2 touchdown passes. Francis has thrown for 3. And Tennessee is back on top, 21-14.
For years, and he's got some receivers.
So now Reves will kick off. Francis had those big shoes to fill. We mentioned at the outset of the ball game, Darrell Dickey, of course, had an outstanding year last year for Tennessee. Well, the leather is popping as the return is made to the 35-yard line by Kevin Wilson. So Wilson has been the up man, so to speak. 3 returns for him tonight. Up to the 35-yard line. Minnesota will take over there.
The thing about both these teams, I think, is so great, is that Tennessee was 2-5. They won their last 4. They don't quit. Minnesota got hammered. I mean, hammered by Oklahoma, 63-0. Then lost the following week to the University of the Pacific, a very discouraging loss. And yet they came back, rebuilt, and in the next to last game of the year, they beat Michigan. No quit in either one of these teams, and we got a ways to go.
So now Minnesota 1st and 10, 36-yard line rather, of the Golden Gophers. Foggy airs it out down the sideline, incomplete, intended for Mel Anderson, number 89. Kramer had the coverage.
Yeah, that was a bad choice, I think. Kevin Wilson, the fullback, was wide open down the middle. He chose to go up against that defensive back again on the corner when he could have thrown it to Wilson in the deep middle zone.
So now Ricky Foggy has his 2nd and 10 coming up at his own 36-yard line. We're near the 11-minute mark to go in this ball game.
And you know Wilson will come back and let him know exactly what the situation was on that play.
2nd and 10. Carter is in as a wideout for Minnesota. Thompson on the run. Thompson bangs out across the 40, moves it to the 42. One of the things that really impresses about Thompson is he was brought down by Brian Kimbrough, number 55, the outside linebacker. One of the things that impresses when he sees that he's going to make contact, he gets down low and gets that extra 2 or 3 yards.
That's unusual for a freshman because they've just come out of high school, and usually the great ones were such great athletes in high school that nobody really got good hits on him, didn't touch him. And this kid, he's smart, and he's got a lot of the great techniques.
At the 42, Thompson is at the midfield stripe for a first down for the Golden Gophers.
And some strength to go with it. How about the strength on that play?
Got 8 on it.
He bought his people. He bought his offensive linemen plaques at the end of the year because he led the Big Ten in rushing. And to show you how smart he is, he also bought the offensive coaches some plaques. Look at this. He's hit there. And you're right. See how he gets that lean? And that lean is what helps him get yardage.
And so we have a timeout with 10 minutes and 28 seconds to go in the Liberty Bowl game. The Volunteers of Tennessee 21, the Golden Gophers of Minnesota 14.
Work and gets it. Dropped one earlier. That was the one he needed to drop.
2nd down for Ricky Foggy in Minnesota. Not much on the run this time. Kevin Wilson, the fullback, number 31, moving out to about the 48, almost the 49, where it'll be 3rd down and 10. Both these teams get tremendous fan support. Minnesota playing in the Hubert Humphrey Metrodome, almost sellout crowds for every game. Tonight's rushing shows Thompson the leader by far, but this gives you an idea of what kind of Minnesota running game the fans watch when they play in the Metrodome.
Foggy's got most of that in the second half, about 45 of it.
Play action fake. Foggy throws, and it is tipped and incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
That was great pressure. Excuse me, that was great pressure by Tennessee. They made that play happen. And now Minnesota losing momentum just a little bit. They're going to have to punt the ball.
Talking about Minnesota's support, they averaged over 60,000 a game. They set an all-time Metrodome record, 65,000 for their Iowa game. But how about Tennessee? Boy, they average in the 90,000s, and I understand they're going to put some more seats at Neyland Stadium.
Well, they got 73,000 for the spring game.
Wouldn't that something?
That's incredible.
They averaged about 92,000 a game.
I think they broke Minnesota's record for a spring game. I think Minnesota was up around 40 or 50.
Brent Herbal for his first punt. And a fair catch is called for and taken at the 17-yard line by Thomas Woods. So Tennessee will play it after that 34-yard punt. And we'll be back after these messages from your local station on the Raycom Sports Network. 17-yard line. We're in the 4th quarter. 8:42 remaining to play. Jeff Francis at the controls of the Volunteers. Great hit behind the line on William Howard. Leverens came firing through there, the linebacker, and popped him down on the 15.
Ankeny, Iowa. John Leverens played basketball, baseball, track, and I'll tell you, read this thing immediately. Cut right through before those linemen could get to him. Number 56. He's in the Liberty Bowl, and he's happy.
2nd down, 12 for Tennessee. Francis looks to this side, completes it to Anthony Miller, and again the defense of Minnesota reacted with Charles McCree, number 3, the left cornerback, who started tonight in place of the suspended Dwayne Detrell, and he is there on the tackle.
And that was a tackle. Now that was what a cornerback is supposed to do on that hitch pattern. He came up and he made the hit, good solid hit, drove him back a little bit.
And Anthony Miller is down. Miller started to try to hobble off the field and then just couldn't make it.
These guys are so fast, and he's another one. He's got tremendous speed. And that hitch pattern is it seems like a short pattern. It is to complete it, but it's a big play pattern because you've seen these guys slip tackles.
Miller's the leading receiver for Tennessee with 667 yards coming into this ball game, but he had a 70-yard touchdown catch against Alabama and a 60-yarder against Auburn. He also can, well, they've used him in the past on reverses, and I believe I saw him in one game where he ran out of the tailback spot on a pitch.
Speed kills. Tennessee has great young people and a lot of speed. Miller is a junior. He'll be back another year. He's okay. I think he just had the wind knocked out.
Francis, who had a great start in the first quarter, has now come back here in this period and completed his last 5 passes.
He's completed 64% plus for the year, and that's a tremendous statistic. But when you're a sophomore, it's equally impressive, especially a sophomore that did not have a great running game early and had to complete passes.
Woods is wide left for Tennessee. It is 3rd down. 3rd and 8. Tackle missed, almost an interception, but a pass broken up. And again, it's Leverens, the linebacker. Flag was dropped on the play, however. Leverens, only a freshman.
What a reaction by Leverens for a linebacker. That's got to be holding, yeah. They were coming hard. Minnesota had 2 guys. One guy went right by Francis, and the other guy was bearing down on him. They had to hold to protect him. Gophers have been coming out of the ground here lately. Dusbabic, see, here he goes. He might be being held there. Then you have a little push. Maybe the second guy is the one they called. And how about that for reaction from a linebacker? As strong as he throws the ball, Leverens was able to get in there, almost intercepted.
The holding penalty rejected. 4th down, 8. Bob Garman in to do the punting.
Garman's a great story. He was having a problem with his kicking. And Coach May, there you see another one.
Not too much on that one, and the ball is out of bounds at the 49-yard line in Tennessee territory. And so Minnesota, great field position. 7:15 left to play in the ball game. 21-14 Volunteers, only a 29-yard kick.
Left. Coach Majors put an ad in the school newspaper looking for a punter last year, trying to shake him up, did a little yelling. He said he came around just fine. Very pleased with his punting until that last one. Yeah.
Minnesota 1st down. Inside Tennessee territory. The pitch comes to the tailback Thompson. And Thompson is down at about the 45-yard line of Tennessee. Keith DeLong, number 33, the inside linebacker on the hit. Comparing the quarterbacks, Francis 216 yards in the air, Foggy 119, but on the other side, Foggy has rushed for 52, and 40 of those were in that 1 touchdown drive when he scored. Equally valuable to their teams, though. I wouldn't give either one of them the edge at this point. They've both been making the thing go. On 3rd down 8. Foggy throwing incomplete on the 38-yard line. Brian Kimbrough, number 55, covering Mel Anderson, the split end. And it's 3rd down. I believe I said 3rd down a moment ago. This will be the 3rd down play coming up. Yeah, Kimbrough did the right thing. He was in position to make contact and get a penalty, but he laid off, and the pass wasn't completed. A hard thing for a linebacker to do, but he just kind of sat back. 3rd down 7 coming up. Tough down. This is a tough down for Minnesota. Real tough, because they become predictable at this point, and that's exactly what they want to stay away from. Here comes the blitz. Tennessee stops Thompson. Well, the key to this thing was the middle, the blitz. They stuffed all the holes. They made him commit right away out of the ice. He has to go outside right away. You've got outside leverage. It's Kimbrough again with Davis and everybody helping out. And they made him go right away. He wasn't able to pick his hole. He had to go outside. The defense was there. Dale Jones there, too. I'd be real careful here if I was Tennessee. Real careful. Thomas Woods is back for Brent Herbel's second kick for Minnesota. Herbel from Grafton, North Dakota, a freshman, has averaged almost 41 yards a punt this year. Fair catch called for, but the ball rolls back into the end zone for the touchback, and Tennessee will play it from the 20. That was a 46-yard kick. Timeout, 5:35 to go. Back after this from your local station on the Raycom Sports Network. First and 10, Tennessee at the 20. Francis on the pitch, and that defense reacts as William Howard gets nailed by Larry Joyner, who came firing through there, and John Leverins again.
Larry Joyner, sometimes they list him as a strong safety. Watch him split the block. I think there's a little bit of holding. No problem. He goes right through that and makes the play. Now that's great defense and big play on first down. Now we've got a second and real long. This kid's a senior, and he's been a tough one for Minnesota. Been through some hard times. There was a 1-10 season early in his career, and these guys have bounced back from that to go to 2 straight bowls.
In fact, Joyner started the season as strong safety and then moved to the rush linebacker spot on the outside. The Memphis native. And the pass is incomplete. Intercepted, but out of bounds. I think it was intercepted. I don't know if he held the ball or not, but anyway, the signal was out of bounds.
Steve Franklin over there, and that was a heck of a defensive play by Franklin, and very close to being a turnover in Tennessee territory.
Well, thanks to Athletic Director Doug Dickey of Tennessee, Coach Johnny Majors and his staff, and Haywood Harris, the Sports Information Director, for their assistance in our telecast tonight.
Go for defense. The defensive backs very much slower than Tennessee's receiver. Done a great job since early in that first quarter.
Third down, 15 after the first play, lost 5. Francis with some time throws to William Howard, and Howard is out of the hole in the first down of the 32. A gain of 16 yards to William Howard, the All-Southeastern Conference fullback.
Boy, Minnesota did just what they wanted to do. They kept it in front of them, short of the first down. Now Howard, see him looking downfield, there's nothing. Now Howard hooks up. He's nowhere near the first down there, but right there, a missed tackle, and Howard just powering for about 8 yards makes the difference. The defense was correct. They kept him short, completed it short of the first down, but he was able to power his way up, and that's a big, big play for Tennessee.
4 minutes, 22 seconds left of the game. Tennessee leading 21-14. Howard on the run. Howard showing the power once more as he gets to the 35, running behind Darrell Smith and Harry Galbraith.
Well, that first down took the Minnesota running game out of the rest of the game now, because now we're getting down to 4 minutes. Had they got a turnover and gotten the ball, or had them turn the ball over on downs and gotten the ball with 4 or 4.5 minutes to go, they could have used that running game. And now with Tennessee running it down, it's going to be 2 minutes, minute and a half. They're going to lose more field position. Takes their running game out. They're going to have to go strictly pass, and that's a big disadvantage.
Blake Scales comes wide to the left side. Now Tennessee split the backs. This is Howard coming back up the middle. William showing his talents to the 43-yard line.
Volunteers running when they have to run. The mark of a good team. Move the chains. Howard leading the way. He's the leading rusher, the guy you would expect to get the ball in this situation.
William comes from Lima, Ohio. First and 10, 43-yard line. Now we're down to 3:15 to go in the ball game. Staying on the ground. Howard churning it up the middle, going to about the 49. We had a flag drop. Holding against the offense.
Yeah, it's a big penalty there. It's a little bit of the halftime show on the field down there.
For those of you just joining us, we're going to show you the touchdown scored just a little while ago that gave Tennessee the lead again.
This is that loft pass in the end zone to Klingscale over the shoulder. That's the way he likes him. Jeff likes to throw him the way he likes him because he catches him better. And that's been the difference in the game. A great pass, and Francis actually has probably been the difference in the game at this point. A tremendous sophomore quarterback with a good arm, very accurate, and knows the game. 3 touchdown passes. Tennessee's got 3 touchdowns.
First down, 18. Tennessee on the ball, 36. Draw to Davis. That doesn't get much, just about the line of scrimmage, but it does eat up some time. Steve Thompson, number 96, the left tackle, and Bruce Holmes, number 88, the strong linebacker, on the hit for Minnesota. Clock running at 2:23 to go.
Minnesota has all their timeouts. I believe Tennessee has had the one taken. They have 2 timeouts because of the crowd noise early in the second half. Minnesota has some time, but they need to stop Tennessee on this drive, on this particular series.
Jim Miller, the fullback, William Howard, the tailback, and then eye for Tennessee. Play action, screen left. Tennessee, big in the air, and that's Anthony Miller. And Anthony Miller picks up some valuable yardage, but they're still about 7 yards short of a first down. They got about 11 on that.
Boy, that's confidence in your quarterback's arms. Johnny Majors throwing it across the field laterally. If that thing's picked off, it's a touchdown for the other team, and you got to believe that your quarterback can read that thing, not throw it into traffic, and get it there. And he let him do it, and it worked.
3rd down and 6. Minnesota now facing that clock that is running at 1:23 to go in the game. 3rd down for Tennessee. They try to get it in the air. Francis trying to run out of the trap, throws the ball into the ground wisely. He had Anthony Miller in the area, but all he was concerned about was just getting rid of that football and not going for an interception, throwing the ball into the ground, which again shows the sophomore poise of Jeff Francis.
Yeah, I believe Leverenz called a timeout after that play, and that would have stopped the clock anyway. He threw the ball into the ground, would have stopped the clock. Minnesota calling a timeout, that's a waste of a timeout, but that'll happen. A lot of young kids out there. It's an exciting game. See, John is saying, who called that timeout?
Apparently,
come on, John, you've got 2 more.
Coach Goody just found out that someone had called a timeout. Now he's only got 1 left now. Johnny Majors says, that's all right, guys. 21-14, Volunteers over Minnesota. This is the first time these 2 teams have ever met in a football game. Liberty Bowl has been the host to Tennessee for 3 times now. Tennessee beating Arkansas 14-13 here in 1971, and defeating Maryland 7-3 in the Liberty Bowl in 1974. Now it's just 4th down. Bob Garman back to do the punting.
And bad punt last time, and 10 men on the line of scrimmage.
Martinez is deep. They're going for it. Only a single man back there. Here comes the Minnesota rush, but Garman gets it away. Matt Martinez on the sideline, comes up the sideline. Oh, should have gone out of bounds. We had a flag drop. So the clock is stopped with 1 second remaining.
Well, you got to stop the clock and change the possession, but you're right, Merle. He should have gone out of bounds.
And we have a timeout now with 1:01 to go. 21-14, Tennessee over Minnesota.
With the Hayes modem, a sales manager.
For Tennessee, Foggy 8 out of 18, 119 yards, throwing back up the middle. It's incomplete. The intended receiver was Craig Otto, the tight end, number 84. He looked over his shoulder one way. The ball was coming the other way.
Well, the thing's been open the entire game. This thing up the middle, they got a completion early, but it was to the fullback. But the pattern is basically the same. Tennessee has left his dead spot. Ball thrown over the wrong shoulder, as you can see. He turned that way. Foggy threw it the other way.
Foggy has completed 1 of his last 7. Now with 55 seconds to go, Tennessee leading at 21-14. Foggy will go airborne again. Fires away, incomplete. Otto, the tight end, again the target. Andre Kramer, number 1, had the coverage. It'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Gophers.
Well, Kramer's the guy that came in for Pepper when he was thrown out of the game, and they're clearly trying to get it to him. And the reason now they're going to the tight end is because they're trying to get isolation, as we talked about earlier, on a slower player. But Tennessee's got their cornerbacks out there. They've got defensive backs all over the field now covering the big people.
3rd and 10. And a whistle stopping play. And timeout is called by Tennessee. 48 seconds remaining in this ball game. Volunteers are leading it 21-14. Each team now with one timeout remaining in this 28th Liberty Bowl. Tonight's Liberty Bowl game has been brought to you by the 1987 Chevy truck, because nothing works like a Chevy truck. Nothing. And by IBM and the growing family of IBM personal computers. By the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. By Visa, accepted worldwide for shopping, dining, and travel. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. 48 seconds left to play in this ball game, with Tennessee leading it 21-14 over the Minnesota Golden Gophers. I want to thank our excellent Raycom crew for their coverage tonight, led by executive producer Don McGuire, director Lonnie Dale, and a lot of hard-working people. Foggy on 3rd and 10. Completes this one up to the 35-yard line. It was Jason Bruce, number 38, brought down by Andre Kramer. A gain of 13 and a first down, and 38 seconds left of the game. Minnesota ready to snap that ball as soon as the chains have been moved. Clock runs. Play underway. Foggy to Thompson out of the backfield. Not much there at the 39, and the clock shows 29 seconds. Keith DeLong, 33, the inside linebacker, stops the play, and Minnesota stops the clock with its last timeout.
Well, that was their last timeout. I was incorrect before. I thought that was, they had an extra one, but that's their last timeout, and they've got 29 seconds to go.
The president of Raycom Sports is Rick Ray. Executive Vice President D. Ray. Our executive producer Don McGuire, and tonight's game was directed by Lonnie Dale. Technical director Stacy Smith. Associate producer David Handler. Associate director Ted Garcia. We hope you'll join Raycom for more of the finest in college football and basketball every season. Wednesday on many of these stations, see Baylor and Colorado meet in the 1986 Liberty Bowl. And then check your local listings for the best in college basketball, as Raycom televises more of the best college teams than anyone in the country, leading up to the championship tournaments in March. From coast to coast, no one covers college sports like Raycom Sports. Coach John Gutenkust. Goody, they call him, Coach Goody. Players were really pulling for him to get the job when Lou Holtz went to Notre Dame.
It's a smart move hiring him.
Yep.
It wasn't a great shock to the team.
Second down, 6. Foggy over the middle. Caught and dropped after the hit, and a very strong hit by Charles Davis, as he hit Mel Anderson. Now the clock showing 22 seconds. It'll be 3rd down from the 40-yard line of Minnesota.
Well, they're going to have to go up on top here for a big one. There's no way that with the time running down now that they can pick away at this thing. They've got to get down to the 20-yard line or closer, and they're going to have to do it right now.
Anderson wide to the right. Ball is batted down. It'll be 4th and 10. Robbie Scott, number 65, the 6'1", 275-pounder out of Decatur, Tennessee. Got his hands up there to block that pass.
Well, you have a choice now. You've got 2 plays, 16 seconds. He's got time for 2 plays. He can go 2 in the end zone. 4th down. Right. He needs a first down, but he needs yardage too, so he can't just go for the first down unless they want to try a Hail Mary. So with 16 seconds to go, what I mean to say is if he gets the first down, he has time for 2 plays. So he can either go deep now and go for a shorter play, which would be higher percentage, or he could just toss it for the end zone right now.
4th and 6. Foggy, incomplete, and the ball goes over. Ron gets the fullback, who's the intended receiver. Foggy misfired, and it is Tennessee's ball.
Yeah, he played a good game, though, Foggy. Real good game. This pass is thrown a little bit too hard. It behind gets. Curious how they went after this thing, going for the shoot. This thing is even short of a first down if it's completed. That ball was fired, and that's a fullback there. And fullbacks are not notorious for their great hands.
So Tennessee takes over on the 40-yard line of Minnesota. The Volunteers leading it 21-14 with 11 seconds left to play in the game. Minnesota now facing defeat as Tennessee will kill the clock. And our Hayes microcomputer player of the game tonight, Jeff Francis, the quarterback of Tennessee. There's the book on him. Hayes microcomputers say yes to the future with Hayes. Once again, our Hayes player of the game, Jeff Francis. 9 seconds. Looks like a walk-off coming up against Minnesota. So a 5-yard penalty takes the ball to the 35-yard line. The clock running down, the clock running now, and the ball game is over. And the Volunteers of Tennessee win their 3rd Liberty Bowl game, beating the Minnesota Golden Gophers by a score of 21-14. So Tennessee is now 3-0 in Liberty Bowl competition. The 28th annual Liberty Bowl from Memphis, Tennessee, as the coaches meet in the middle of the field, and Kevin, turned out to be a good ball game.
It was a great ball game, I think. Two teams that have a lot of good young players on them, and Tennessee, of course, with those great skill people, still young, and Francis, the sophomore quarterback. And how about the Gophers here? You're gonna have the Gophers with their great tailback Thompson. Let's take a look at that last touchdown. And this is why Francis was the player of the game. This guy's not only got a strong arm, here's the accuracy. He didn't have to throw it hard, but he threw it right in there, the only place he could. 3 touchdown passes for Francis today. He was the difference in the game. The Tennessee passing offense just too strong for Minnesota.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Merle Harmon along with Kevin Kiley from Memphis. This has been a copyrighted presentation of Raycom Sports.
I'll wait at the car till your press conference.